You're listening to Lunch with the Finance Bunch, bringing money talk you can understand. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Lunch with the Finance Bunch. I'm your host, Miss Charlene, and I have my co-host over there, DJ Bander. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, Char. Good morning. Nice to be here.
Ooh, we got a full house today.
Big show today.
Actually, a party zone is actually what it is today.
Yeah, it's about to go. We got the full studio session going on right now.
Oh, yeah. We have businessmen, and we're just going to let them introduce themselves.
Let's go.
So we have the Orange Collective in the house, and I want each one of you to introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about what you do.
Right. Well, first of all, we start out all our interviews in prayer. Right. So if Speak Life 310 can give us a quick prayer, that'd be great.
I love it. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right. Dear God, we thank you for blessing us this morning. We thank you for blessing us with another day of life. Thank you for continuing to give us favor with the people we come in contact with on a personal level or on a business level. We thank you for continuing to protect us from the crowns of our heads to the soles of our feet, continuing to open the correct doors that you wish for us to walk through and closing the doors that we think are good for us, but you know that they're not good for us. We thank you for allowing everyone that needs to hear this session, this vibe, this party, to be touched deeply in their spirits. We ask that you just continue to encourage, inspire, motivate all of us to continue to motivate and inspire. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Very
Amen.
nice. Well said.
I love the way you start your sessions. Yeah. Yes, it centers everyone.
Yeah,
Energy. Right?
Yeah.
And it does. Did you see the energy shifted in the room,
that was
right?
deep. I like
Yeah.
That's what we believe in. But I am Mr. Fully.
Hold up. We are
The
Orange Collective.
There you go.
I like that.
I was gonna do the whole name thing and then do it backwards, but this man, Zamir over here. So, anyways, I'm Mr. Fully, and Zamir can talk now.
NBL Zamir. The NBL is for nothing but love.
Oh, I like that.
I like that.
Speak Life 310. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so Mr. Foley,
Yes.
how did the collective get started? Who is the collective and how did you get started?
I will defer to my counterparts. They have such a beautiful way of explaining it.
Okay.
And so I'll let Zamir and then I'll let Speak Life explain what the collective is.
Cool.
So you want to know how we met, right?
How you met?
Yeah. So the Orange Collective was basically an idea that Fully initially concepted with his old business partner. I think years before him and I even met. And
Shout out to Matt Hanrahan.
Yes, shout out Matt. And Fully ended up coming to me one day with the idea for this record, Juice Sound. And I think within that process, we were just having a normal conversation like we always do, where we just have these spiritual conversations.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, I was just like, OC, like Orange Collective, like if we're going to do this, why don't we call it something? And he was like, bro, that's the exact name I had 2 years ago. He's like, no, it's time now.
Wow.
And that's how it happened.
Yeah, it was a I thought failed idea, but a delay is not a denial, and God made it come through. And I was like, wait, now is the divine time to make this happen. And then that's when I reached out to Zamir, and then after that I was able, shout out to Vince, because I did a lot of shows. Vince is one of the members of the group, and I was just doing shows, I talked to you on the phone,
right?
And I was just, when you get into that point of life where you're just kind of doing things for the applause, for the crowd, you're the guy. So you with celebrities, Bender, you know what I'm talking about. You with celebrities every weekend. You the guy, do this, do that, and I just had a moment with God, and He's like, "Yo, what are you doing?"
Okay.
And are you doing this because I've blessed it, or are you doing it because your flesh wants you to do it? And so after that, I was like, hey, if you just want me to just do nothing for 3 months, so I sat, but working behind the scenes,
of course,
with the group, and this became the movement.
Right.
And then my focus, for my life, and that's when I was able to meet Wim and connect with Speak Life, and it's just super divine that, even to this point, the Spirit really led us to come together. I take no responsibility for the idea. I was just a vessel, a conduit to bring all this together. And we're here now. Let's Speak Life.
Yeah.
And then what I like to just kind of add to it. So, it's 3 out of 5 of us here. So big shout out to Wim, the musician.
Yes.
Big shout out to Vinsanity. When this is definitely out my comfort zone working with the group. So one of the biggest obstacles, I'm sure it'll come up later, is getting the timing right for everybody to be together, studio sessions, everything, but we can chat later. But anyway, so also to add to what MBL, Zamir, and Mr. Fully said, the Orange Collective is sort of like a blank canvas, and there's 5 different artists, 5 different individual artists coming together for one common goal, which is to, put Orange County on the map and just put out some good waves and promote love, positive vibes.
And elevate.
And elevate together.
Cool.
But
That's amazing.
we have to have, in order to be successful, you have to have like-minded individuals around you that have the same common goal, same
right.
wavelength and so forth. So these 5 individual artists came together on this blank canvas to create this beautiful picture, this collective of art that turned out to make the canvas orange.
Wow. But it's like a tapestry, right? It's a beautiful tapestry.
It's such a tapestry, and everything. I originally thought it was just going to be like the song,
right?
And the music video, but it turned out to be so much bigger than us, and it was an offering for the county, the best offering we currently could give the county
at that time
with the resources that we have. So the way that Speak said, this is a beautiful painting that we just kind of were able to use the paintbrushes to be used.
So when you guys clicked up, basically the way that everybody sort of fell into place as far as their positions and what they're doing for the group, you're saying that basically came about from the original track that you guys did? Or was it sort of like after you developed it, when it was like, okay, well, like I'm in on the beats and the engineering, right? You were saying, and then I was like, and then you guys sort of, traded off verses. Like, how did that kind of fall together?
That process? Okay, so break it down. I came up with the concept while working out because I was like, I haven't been working out. My brother started gaining some weight because I don't have Cal State Fullerton Gym. So I
knocked that off real quick, though.
Yeah, bro. I was running, and the Lord just dropped the course, and I'm like, look, now it's time. So I go to the studio with them, and I'm like, showed him 2 beats. And then I showed them, the choruses for each beat, and they all were like, yo, that's the one. And then that's when I dropped the chorus, and then they all filled in the gaps on the verses, and then it kind of just came together. And through us working together, that's how the Spirit kind of organically through phone calls and conversations was like, okay, you the guy to be Coach Speak, and you the guy to be accountability, Zamir, and I'm the guy to just kind of bring and fill in the gaps and make it work. Yeah. Because I'm a big believer on I'm only as strong as the people around me.
That's
and I'd
right.
rather lead with them than to lead above people.
I love that.
Right,
So,
right.
Yes.
And
And
I,
what?
I-
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, man.
I was just coming off of a transformational training that I did for my own personal growth as well. So a big theme in my life was just surrendering to the process and surrendering to the higher
Right.
power. So I think when that if this would have happened any time before that, my ego would have been in the way.
Yes.
Things would have been in the way that wouldn't have allowed it. But the timing was just so perfect.
Oh yeah,
Right.
and to
You know-
oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but honestly, when you bring a group together, a collective, and you have a purpose in mind, what you said is exactly what destroys most groups is the egos get involved, and you get above what you're doing and what your mission is, and it becomes all about one person, and that is the breakdown and the destruction of the collective, the group. So it seems as though to me that each of you individually grew to a space where you were mature enough to be a part of a group because collectively together you're powerful, but individually you're powerful too.
Right.
And because that resonates already in your spirit, there's nothing to prove to anybody. Everybody can stay in their own lane. Right?
Come
See,
through.
I'm getting this. I'm starting to get this.
Come
Right?
through. No, it's beautiful that people can just organically feel that from our group. And like I tell people, my biggest story, like I told you on the phone, Charlene, and I tell everybody this man right here, I'm a believer.
Yes.
This man, Zamir, and Speaks of a Believer, told me, yo, what does God say?
Yes.
Yo, why don't we pray about this? I have never in church or even secular, the spaces we
Yes.
go through, Charlene and Bander, nobody says that.
No, they don't.
So when he said that to me, it took me for a loop, and I was like, okay, now I need to hone in and get real locked in with this.
Totally.
That's so
this
cool.
process. So exactly what he's saying.
That's
It was
Wow.
God's the glue, like 100% to this
Wow.
whole group.
So you know
Yeah.
what? When we come back, I want to talk more about this because I love the direction that this conversation is going in.
Absolutely.
I'm Charlene,
And I am DJ Bander.
and we'll be right back.
Let's go.
And we're back in the studio with the Orange Collective. And
Blessings and
you know
waves.
what? The conversation in between on the break.
That was getting hot.
That was getting hot.
Vander was
you
coming
know?
through.
So we're gonna get to enjoy their music, you know, in between and in the breaks. But I just wanted to collectively continue this
Stay in that
conversation.
energy.
Yeah, and I was just
Right?
saying what I was saying,
Stay in
Char,
that
is just,
space.
you know, what I loved about their energy just from this first section was just
Yeah.
how much they support each other and how much
Absolutely.
they're interested in supporting others that believe in their vision and want to support them. And I was just
Yes.
saying, really, it's nice to see it. I don't know if it's just them as individuals, also maybe where they're from, but one thing that I always found that we talk about in LA that's so lacking, even with entrepreneurs and people who listen to the show, is such a me city.
Yes.
And it's all about, you know, your own self, and, you know, instead of coming at it like, I'm just going to help this other person succeed with no ulterior motives,
Right.
just to help them
Yes.
succeed because that's going to put good energy out for myself,
Exactly.
helping this other person.
Exactly.
And I mean, we're New Yorkers, so I think that comes a little bit more natural to us because we
does.
got that East Coast feel going on, but it's something that's lacking. So I was just saying in the break, it's refreshing. Just their energy is like inspiring, and it's just
They
nice
even
to
have
see.
their own handshake.
Yeah, they got their own-
handbrake,
yeah,
they got
y'all
their
listen
own
to
little
handshakes
language.
going on
So I
over
want to
here.
know
We'll
what
put it
that
on the
is
camera
too.
for the
Yeah.
visual.
Yeah, did you
You wanna
put
see
it on
that?
camera?
Can we
Yes,
do
I
that
want to
right
see
here?
it. Yeah,
Let's speak into
because I want to know what it is.
This was actually.
Oh, they got it going on.
Yeah, they do.
That was actually
Wow.
originated when Speak and I used to rock together. Like, well, we've been rocking together for a long time before the collective, and we started the first half of that handshake then, and we finished it with the collective with
That's
the little
lit.
cowabunga.
Wow.
That's lit.
That
Y'all
is
looking like you're on the court with
so
that one.
cool. I know. I saw the little handshake going on. I was like, wait, stop. Let's
tried to do it
show
three
this.
ways. I was like, it don't work.
It don't work through.
One question I
Good
wanted
try,
to get
good
into,
try.
I want to get a little information background just quickly. Like, could you just each give a quick breakdown on how you came to your names? Because I just think
Yes.
they're really cool, and I'm just really curious about that.
Heck
You
yeah.
know, why don't you just each give me like a just quick breakdown?
Speak Life has probably the longest.
Yeah,
like,
Speak. Why don't you go first?
Yeah.
All right, it's the longest, but I'm going to make it the shortest.
Okay.
There you
Okay,
go.
so I go by Speak Life 310. So back in 2013, this was after I was heavier in the club scene, throwing events and so forth. God pushed me out of that game. You know, it got me to the like Speak Life came to me like in a dream. It was weird. And so I was like, okay, like Speak Life, okay. So then I was like kind of looking it up, like, is there any hip hop artists under Speak Life?
Right.
And then it was like this gospel group. So big shout out to Speak Life, the gospel group. And I was like, okay, God, like, what the heck? Like, why would you show me that? And then it was like 310. And I was like, okay, because I represent my city. Cool. Born and raised in Los Angeles. Moved to moved to Orange County to go to Cal State Fullerton. Finished up, got my degree. Whoop. And so with Speak Life 310, the concept is it's an affirmation. There's a lot that I feel like God wants me to do as a vessel. I do not want the center of attention around my name. I wanted it to be towards the affirmation, or what came to me was to put it towards affirmation. So for example, when I win a Grammy, it's like, okay, big shout out to Speak Life 310. So everybody here Speak Life. So they're constantly, every time you hear me on
Got
the
it.
radio, Speak Life.
That's cool.
Speak
That
Life,
is-
Speak Life.
I like
you know?
that.
That is.
I want to get out the way. You know?
Yes.
Go ahead, G.
So MBL Zamir. Zamir is my real name.
Yes.
I used to go under the name Zammy, Zami. So all of my previous music you'll see on Spotify and iTunes was under Zammy. I started Zamir right after I went through, a transformational period in my life.
Okay.
And I just decided I wanted to be authentic and just really represent myself. And so
Love
the Nothing But Love has always been a part of the Zammy brand. So I just took the NBL, threw it in front of my name, and we ran with it. So
Okay, so it's nothing but love.
Nothing But Love
His
Zamir.
banner over us.
Yeah, is love.
That's so
cool.
cool.
Coming through. Pretty much, Mr. Fully, actually, I used to have a group as well called Authentic People Supply and Originality, APSO. So that's what my group's name used to be with my brother, because I've been doing music since like church. I'm a church boy, played the drums, all that stuff
Love
since
it.
I was like 3. And then I started at Cal State Fullerton throwing events, kind of similar to Speak Life 310. And then people were like around me saying like, it's time to elevate. Like you need to name, like you're the culture of this town. So Mr. Fully came about, which is short for Fullerton.
Yep.
Okay.
So shout out to Cal State Fullerton. They still saying Fully up there.
I'm loving
That's
that.
so cool. That is so cool.
That's really
It's the
cool.
culture's name now.
Right.
It's the
Now-
culture's name. The whole
Now,
movement's for the
what I
culture.
did get from you is each of you not only are artists and musicians and write music and all that, but you also have individual businesses
Yes.
that you do. So what businesses do each of you own? Tell us a little bit about that.
You want to start?
You want me to start?
Yeah.
Sure. So I own a company called Good Guy Music Group.
Okay.
It's a record label in the making, but it's a recording studio as of now. So
Okay.
I do songwriting for artists. I'm an audio engineer, graphic designer, video editor. What else? I do a lot of creative stuff. Like, you know what I mean? As
Yes.
far as like creating content and things like that.
That's what's up.
And
cool.
yeah, so like, you know, I took what I did for my own career and I turned it into a service for everyone else.
Right.
That's kind
Yes.
of the business model.
I like that.
Very good.
And 310?
Yes.
You got
All
that
right,
tenor
so-
going on right there.
This was so deep today.
I was.
Indeed.
Okay, so my company is called Speak Life World, speaklifeworld.com. So basically the concept was that with that is I wanted to figure out a way of how I can give back, but on a larger scale. Because at the end of the day, you know, I'm not a millionaire and I got people I need to take care of. So I feel kind of limited. I felt limited in regards to what I can give. So I was like, so what can I do? I want to create some type of platform to where I can give on a higher level, but then have some type of purpose or meaning behind it. So Speak Life World, you can find apparel on there that has nothing but good vibes or messages. So say, you know, men's t-shirts, women's t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, and they have positive messages on there such
nice.
as faith, love, hope, believe there's good in the world, or be the good, positive mind, positive vibes, positive life. So the idea is for people that make that purchase, you know, as soon as they put it on, they're going to feel a certain type of way.
That's
Their spirit's
right.
going to be uplifted some kind of way on
Yes.
some type of scale. And then anybody that sees you in that apparel, they're going to read the message. So it's to affect people to bring more positive vibes and allow them to see more good in this world.
Yes.
And then 25% of the net profits are donated to nonprofit organizations that are giving back to the less fortunate.
Beautiful.
I like that.
So the 3 nonprofits so far that Speak Life World is supporting is the LA Mission, the Dream Center, and the San Diego Food Bank.
Wow.
And they all provide
Nice.
food, shelter, classes, programs, discipleship programs, and it's designed to not only just feed people that are less fortunate, but it's also restoring their faith and so forth.
So not only feed them physically, but emotionally.
And who says the
Exactly.
millennial generation
Wow.
doesn't care, right,
You
Shari?
know,
You know what I'm
it-
saying?
We got to
And
walk
that's
it like
why-
we talk it.
And I'm a
Exactly.
motivational
I like that.
I love it because
Yeah.
millennials do care.
We do
We
care.
do
Yes,
care.
you do.
Yeah, we do care. We gotta put a bigger spotlight on people like this. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I did actually want to add one thing, if
Sure.
you don't mind,
Go ahead,
Philly.
go ahead.
Of course.
I got to use the platform. So I did just start a shoe company called MBL Brand,
Oh,
and
okay.
the
Okay.
shoes are handmade in Italy out of Italian leather
Wow.
per order. So one of ones every
Gotta
time
hook your
that you
boy
order.
up, man. I'll flex those.
I got you.
Yeah, that's lit.
I got you.
That
How-
is amazing.
How'd you make that connect over there?
So to be real, it was actually a company that I found on Instagram that has a business model where you create the shoes. You have to sell a certain amount of pre-orders in
Got
order
it.
for it to go into production.
Wow.
So it was a design stage, you know, the graphic design stage, the logo and whatever, and then also the shoe design stage. So
That's what's up.
And they love the designs. You got to apply to be a designer and all that. So they love the concepts that I came with. And
That's nice.
It was a wrap.
Yeah, they go
I like that.
My squad is iconic.
So how do you
Yeah, they
guys
are.
how do you guys balance this? How do you guys balance the music, you know, aspirations that you have and
I do
your
not know.
entrepreneur aspirations? I'm just curious. Do you guys set a schedule? Because I know that's so important. You know, there's
It
only
really
so
is.
many hours in the day, and a lot of our listeners are people who are like, they haven't even begun to. They're still in the baby stages, right? They want to start a business. They
Right.
want to get this stuff together. So, you know, is there one of you guys who's sort of like the project manager? I see Mayor of OC over here nodding his head. So-
Mayor of OC.
yeah. So that's you, right? Fully,
Yeah,
that's your plug.
that's me. I also have my own businesses.
Yeah, talk about
before
that.
I get into your question. Classic Gentleman. I started with Matt Handerhan and D Hill in Cal State Fullerton.
Right.
It was a gentleman's lifestyle brand where we do all the high end events in Orange County. We've been doing that for about 3 or 4 years, and that's really what started the wave of us talking about Orange
Right.
Collective, because Orange Collective was the original company idea.
Right.
Then nobody believed in it. I got a team full of people of us at the table.
Right.
They're like, "What does that mean? You're gonna Kanye us?" And Matt was the one that believed and was
Gotta
like, "Boom."
Kanye us.
Yeah,
Man said
you're gonna P
Kanye
Diddy and Kanye us, and I was like, "No, guys." And then Matt believed, and so we We started at Cal State Fullerton. Our company's based off of community, culture, and couture. We did a day of chivalry. We do events, high-end events, and we do services like Zamir says. And so I was like, okay, that's cool for executives like yourselves and entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs to connect. But we need something for the culture.
Right.
So I started Culture Clash OC.
Love
which is
the
more
name.
so of the hip-hop kind of
Yeah,
things.
that's real fly.
You know, and we're just a platform for upcoming artists, and we started doing events with high end kind of celebrities. But to get to what you're saying, I am the project manager. I kind of bring stuff and throw it at the dartboard or the paint on the canvas, and then they're like, "This is how we are going to decipher this." And then I go to Zamir, and Zamir's like, "Well, how is this going to happen?" And then speaks like, "What's the logistics on it?"
Wow.
And so that's usually
I love that.
Yeah, he's the question
he's
asker.
the question. Why?
So he'll bring it to the table.
Visionary.
He'll ask all the right questions, and then I'll execute the
This how we
say
do
like
it,
the
guys.
proposal or the business
Yes.
plan or whatever we got to throw at it. And that's my thing. The computer is my best friend. So I'm a nerd at heart,
Me too.
Okay.
I love that, bro.
but a musician at soul. So
That's amazing.
Yeah, so that's really how we keep it kind of going, and I'll and to be real, on the personal end too, it goes hand in hand with business. How your partners are going together. I make sure I call them separately. Are you good? Are you okay?
Right.
Well, that goes into my other question I was has, which is you're just literally leading right into it. Tell us, how do you guys resolve disputes? Because
Yes.
that's
Prayer.
always
Prayer, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
Wow, okay.
like I'll get on separate 3-way phone call prayers. I'll pray with them
Okay.
by themselves. Actually, this past week, some of my closest friends were like going through, and I pray. I felt I don't use Instagram to like push that on there. I mostly use my Facebook to kind of push to my church audience. But it's such a need right now for creatives, for prayer, entrepreneurs, because we're in it. Like
Right.
suicidal thoughts, depression,
That's right.
I
low
feel you.
self-esteem, not having enough money in the bank. So I was like, man, I've been having those moments where it's like, man, I don't want to, but who else is going to do it?
It's kind of deep because
You
I've actually been focusing a little bit more on my spiritual side over the last couple
And
months,
you have to.
And I do come from like
Yeah.
more of a secular background, Jewish, but less religious. And I do have been finding a little bit more positive energy by getting back into that space.
It's a whole
See,
it's a
that's-
whole
that's
thing.
funny that you mentioned
Just so you
that.
can get centered.
Yeah, it does
know?
center you. It does center you.
Because the suicide rate in young people is up to epidemic proportions.
Yes.
And the depression rate is up to epidemic proportions. And so I'm glad you mentioned that, because everyone needs to find within themselves what will center them. And for myself, it's prayer. And for you guys, obviously, it's prayer. And to put that out there so that people can know that there is a place they can go is amazing.
I had like at least 5 or 10 people DM me and say like, thank you so much for
That's
this.
cool.
Yes.
And I was just like, wow, this is something that I need to do. And because a lot of the times comparison is the biggest killer to any dream.
Yes, it is.
And that's what social media
And
is.
we're so,
So-
it's so
we're
funny you
so
say that, because I
into
was just
that.
going to say, not just the comparison, we are so saturated as a
Yes.
society and a culture and as young people. And it's great that you guys have each other to stay positive. It's something that I'm always working for, is because for the most part, I'm a
Yes.
solo brand. And it's hard no matter what sense you have. It's hard as a solo brand because you don't have people in your corner all the time, being
Right.
like, keep it up. And, we're constantly bombarded by like comparison and negative. So it's great that the convo is going this direction, because it's really important. It looks like you guys have a really nice,
It's never been harder to be an individual. You know, what
Than
I
it
mean?
is
It's
today.
never been
really
harder to be
is.
an
It's like
individual.
miserating being an individual
Right.
now. It's
I think that with social media, we honestly have to get to a place where there's something has to happen where individuals can be validated as individuals,
Yes.
and they
Yeah.
don't have to be clones of everyone else.
Exactly.
Be who you are,
That's-
whoever that is. That's who God created you to be, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I noticed that the individuals, because people are gonna hate you or love you regardless of what
Right.
you do. It doesn't matter if you do
That part.
You can win
That's
$1 million and you can decide to donate $500,000 to.
And they'll
a
say you were
nonprofit.
greedy.
Yeah.
But that's what they say. You can donate $500,000, but then you just decide, you know what, I'm going to spend $200,000 on a car. They're going to criticize you about spending the $200,000 on a
right.
car and take all the attention away from
Away
it.
from the good that you've done.
Away from the good.
Yeah, that's
Right.
real.
That's really why I love the collective so much, is we are very individual, even in our belief systems, to the point where I'm more of a new age spiritual. I'm not so much religious, right?
Right. That's kind of where I'm at, bro.
But I can still sit in prayer with these guys and still feel that, you know, in my own way.
That's cool.
So
That's
I have my
right.
own individual.
I like that.
I don't feel like none of us feel like we're pushing each other's beliefs on each other.
Yes.
It's very just, we accept this. We share the commonality that there's something bigger than us, and we allow that through us. We surrender to it, and that's the process.
That's beautiful.
Wow.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about what are the upcoming goals for the Orange Collective right now? What is your main focus right now, and what are you guys looking to drop over the next couple months?
Oh, no, I think that's
It's a loaded question.
That's a loaded question.
It's the only type of
I'll
question.
answer part one,
Okay.
and then they can answer a lot of shows. Our album, the mixtape, is coming soon. Gratitude and Versatility, Blessings and Waves. It's a
Yes.
beta name, but Orange Collective Volume
TBA.
1 is coming. Shout out to Trip Digital Radio, Journey, and Kasari for putting that together for
Yes.
the process, and they really came in together and were like, look, you got June, let's get this done by July 4th. Of course, I was like, no, August, because I'm a big like planning guy and I need the
Right.
time. I'm a Kanye-esque like, hey man, let's listen to all the beats. Let's
Right.
listen to let's do lyrics. Let's do courses. Like I need month by month, but this was something that was really just God's timing. It's like we got to go now. And there's a lot
love
of
that.
big partnerships actually this week that God kind of manifested that you'll see coming up soon. That's part one. So part two.
Beautiful.
So the mixtape, yeah. So the mixtape that's what, yeah. And along with the mixtape, to package it, we wanted to do something different because we really do feel like what we have is special. We're documenting the whole process via video. So
Very nice.
we're going to put together
is
a
cool.
documentary shoot. You know, we got shout out to Visions by Jake, who is now created by Jacob Tucker on Instagram. He's the dude who shot Juice Sound. And he's going
Cool.
to do the
Okay.
whole documentary in the same flow.
Cool.
So it's like just jump from that to that.
Yeah. And so when we come back, we want to talk about the video that you guys just dropped, because I saw
Definitely.
that. It's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, the
Thank
videos
you.
are looking great,
yeah,
guys.
And the
Thank you.
projects
Thank
that you have coming up. Let's talk about that when we come back.
Let's do it.
I'm Charlene,
And I am DJ Bander.
and we are on Dash Talk,
Talk
X,
X.
and we'll be right back. And we're back in the studio with the Orange Collective,
Yes,
and we're
we
learning
are.
so
Blessings
much
and
on every
waves.
level. And my question is, what made you decide to live in Orange County? Because it was a choice, and also do your music there.
You want to go?
You can start. You can start because you've been.
I was born and raised in Anaheim Hills. So,
Okay.
well, no, I'm sorry. I was born and raised in Fountain Valley, lived in Fullerton, then Anaheim, then Anaheim Hills. So I saw my parents climb up the proverbial
Financial
ladder, yes.
financial ladder.
Right.
And so I was just blessed to have, a good childhood from the age of like 5. I think, we got to Anaheim Hills when I was about like 5 or 6, something like that. So I was blessed to have that. And then I moved to Toronto for college.
Okay.
Oh, crazy.
In Toronto, Canada. And I
Nice,
lived there
bro.
for about 7 years. And you will never miss sunshine more. You know
Right.
what
Yeah,
I
when
mean?
you
The
live
beach
in
I heard
and the
Canada.
Toronto be
palm
like a
trees.
Seattle with that,
Then
right?
when you,
The weather.
dog, negative 30,
Oh, it's
shoveling
even
a
cold.
driveway in the morning. You
Oh,
got to
never
get up
mind.
an
That's-
hour.
no, no.
I could go on.
Wow.
I go on. I love Toronto. Shout out T-Dot, but I won't live there. Yeah.
Let Drake have that
so
call.
yeah, right. And there was I dropped a mixtape called Torontofornia at one point and like all that. So I was tying it all in, but my heart was always in California.
Right.
So I had to come back and just do it right this time when I got back from college, and it was with the right people. So it was a no-brainer.
That's cool.
Torontofornia was a dope mixtape, by the way.
Thank you, brother.
Okay, so I was born and raised in Los Angeles, and then what got me out of LA was I just wanted to change my environment, the type of environment I grew up. Like my block, my little neighborhood was pretty cool, but like across the street, you have Inglewood and everything that came with it. So it's a lot of gang activities, prostitution. I would see pimps going down Century Boulevard, so forth. So I wanted to change my environment. So I got accepted to all these Cal States, in LA. But I felt like Orange County was my best bet. And honestly, my brother actually went to Cal State Fullerton, rest in peace. He went to Cal State Fullerton. So I remember going to his dorms, and I remember the vibe there. And I was like, okay, like this is a little bit more laid back. So that's what led me to come to Orange County.
Okay.
And then once I moved to Irvine, I was like, man, I'm staying out here because it's just too laid back. It's too nice. It's too.
Can't be mad at
It's
that.
it's honestly like the Truman Show, but I'd rather have the Truman Show than the freaking like gangland. You know what I mean? Like, but that's why I'm in Orange County.
Okay.
Truman Show come through. Orange County for me, I was born actually in Long Beach, and shout out to moms and dads. Moms was not feeling the LA vibes, Long Beach vibes. she's a suburban Chicagoan girl that pops, scooped up by the grace of God, coming from Wilmington, and we ended up in Orange County in Fullerton, and from there I just knew. From being around, I just knew something big. I was supposed to be a part of bringing culture to Orange County. I knew I was supposed to bring light. I knew I was supposed to be a part of that. Even if I wasn't going to be the guy, I knew that I was going to be a part of that team. And so from the jump, that's what I set my mind out for.
Right.
I'm like, yo, you guys are all going to LA. I'm staying in Orange County. Like everyone would tell me, like, you need to go. You would be big. You would pop this and that. And I'm like, no, if I can pop here, I will I will shift the culture like a Drake did in Canada. We didn't think Canada would pop.
Right.
We didn't think some of these areas would pop, but it took guys like us to believe in their county. I always had a saying, like, if you believe in your county will believe in you.
I love that.
And so that's where I'm at. And then I found other like-minded individuals, starting out with my business partner, Matt, and he believed in this crazy young African-American cat that was dressing fly with the briefcase and said, we can shift the culture. And we walked the city, and now we taking over the county. And so that was always my dream, or the dream that God had given me.
Right.
And it just needed the right people to be in the right places, because you have different people assigned to you for different seasons. That's what I was talking about with Zamir.
Yes.
That this is the season that the idea and the season for Orange County to pop. And that's the larger thing that I feel like separates us from a lot of Orange County artists, is that we're just moving differently.
Right.
We're not trying to be the best rapper, trying to be the best singer, trying to be the best looking guys. We're just doing the mission that we have been given from the Father. And that's all that, that's what really.
But the squad is fly though.
Yeah, and when he says taking
so
over,
many questions in there. I'm telling you, and listening to you talk, my brain just was like, I had 100 questions within what you said.
Yeah.
But I'm going to start with this one, because a lot of times young people, especially in the millennial group, which is one of the reasons I started this podcast, is that they feel like they have to move to someplace else in order to be. And so I like that the conversation went in this direction, because you don't have to uproot everything that you are to become who you think you're supposed to be. Figure out why you were planted where you are. And explore that first, right?
That, for sure.
Because
I felt the spirit when you said that.
And also, if you want to move. If your environment is negative, there's nothing that has to hold you there.
For real.
People make their own boundaries. They make their own boundaries, and you can be successful anywhere, yes, but if you choose Orange County to be where you make your success, then you can rise there and create a culture that you want to see. You don't have to wait for a culture. You can
You
create
bring the
one.
culture.
if you build it, they will come, right?
That's
like,
right.
Like it's an open niche to me. People look at it and they're like, "Oh, it's not popping out here." Well, LA is saturated, so you're looking at an open niche, and you're telling yourself that it's empty. Yeah, it's gonna be empty for you.
Well, people are traveling from Orange County to LA to find what you're creating in Orange County. They won't have to leave.
Wow, you're saying everything we talk about.
I feel like we should throw one up.
I know it's
Go ahead.
it really is what you're saying. That's a lot of the conversations me and my business partner Matt would be like, if we bring the culture here, like we will be on the billboards. We will be those individuals and showing these people, because I didn't come from money. Straight up. I'm a church boy, family, all this is faith, patience, God, hope, trust. No one's funding this Orange Collective. We are doing it literally off of our souls and our hearts. So we're showing people that don't come from money, that little boy, that little girl that don't come from money, that person that may not be as smart, not as talented, or not as good looking.
For sure.
That, look, you can do anything if you put your mind to it and you have your heart in the right place. So exactly, that's the motivations, not so much even this interview that gets me up in the morning, gets me tapping in with these guys.
Right.
That, hey, yo, we're doing something.
And money
working.
can't buy heart.
No,
Money
it
can't
cannot.
buy heart.
of course
You gotta have that, and you gotta cultivate that. And I think that all of us have done our due diligence as individuals to do
And
that in our
cultivate
own
it.
lives. And
Yes.
which
Yeah,
is why when
absolutely.
it came together.
Yeah,
it's-
no, I
it is
see that.
beauty.
Now, I have another question that's kind of a question, also a statement. but within your group, and this is Lunch with the Finance Bunch, I heard you mention this, but I want to make it a point. These gentlemen are not only talented, they each, if you've noticed, said they have their own business. These are all entrepreneurs.
That's right.
They have different types of businesses that they've brought together that complement each other. And it's something that we talk about here a lot on Lunch with the Finance Bunch, is that the team concept works. You know, don't be a lone ranger out there. No, you shouldn't just hook up with anybody, but walk slowly to your team. But create a team, because as individuals, we are all great, but collectively, we are more powerful.
We're unstoppable.
Unstoppable. That's right. So I wanted to make sure we made that point in this, you know, because our talk show, we want to, you know, make sure that the golden nuggets get heard.
Yes,
yeah, you know,
Of course,
that
the team dynamic.
this is a team
is
dynamic that's
everything.
working.
Yeah.
You know?
And just when you said that, it just made
Go
more
ahead.
sense, like why we came together. Because,
Right.
and us three, not saying that Vince and Wim don't talk and with us, we kind of have been on the business side a little bit longer.
Right.
So it's like, you know, they were already working together separately. And I think it's beautiful that I was in North County and they were in South County.
Right.
So it's already providing that unity space, which that means they were doing business, I was doing business.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Already. I remember I had to bring this up, the phone call. Our first initial phone call, me and Zamir's phone call, was an hour phone call.
Wow.
And I didn't even know the guy.
Wow.
I don't know
Yeah.
if you remember that.
Yeah, I do remember
we had
that,
I'm like, I don't know why this is happening, but it was for like 4 years later, the reasoning we'd have
Right.
2-hour phone calls, 3-hour phone calls, because after that one phone call, I'm like, this guy on the phone, I'm like, this guy says he's from the 6. Like, I see his Instagram. I'm like, why is he in Orange County? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then we just start chopping it up. And then the energy just was for
Yeah,
now.
you thought I was actually from Toronto.
Yeah, I
at
was
that
like,
time.
oh my
I was
God.
Nah, bro, I grew up here.
Well, and so much of what the team provides, it's so much more just beyond pushing each other's agenda. It's like by having the team, you know, you can even just feel the energy off them that like
Right.
they have a really high level of confidence because they're constantly building each other up
Yes.
and supporting each other, so they're in like a much more positive space, which is great. You know what I'm saying? Like I really dig that, and I see how it's like it's a nice way of, and also how you guys have done the Orange Collective is really smooth in the sense where it doesn't limit your individual growth.
No, it does not.
Because it's like a group project based on all of your individual aspirations, which
exactly.
is super lit. Like I'm really feeling that.
Thank you.
And yeah, and then you know, like, so I know you guys have talked about you know, the new music. You guys have talked about, you know, you guys have a new video that's out that's done really well with views, right?
Yeah,
It's
it's
beautiful.
climbing.
I
It's
love it.
climbing.
And actually, the Spotify is starting to get a lot of hits too. I think we're starting to hit like 6 digits, you know, thousands. So
Dope.
Yeah,
Dope.
something
That's
like
what's going on. Yeah, that's what's going on. And what other kind of moves do you guys feel like you're trying to do now in terms of different industries, different ways of growth? What do you guys what are your like other dreams that you guys
Go ahead,
have that
Steve.
you want to
Where
get
will
into?
you be in a year?
Yeah. Or no, not even a timeline.
How much
on
time
it.
you
Right.
got? How much time we got left?
You got a few minutes. Go ahead.
No, but Speak Like 310. Yeah. So my basic life purpose, what the vision that came to me was to be a motivational speaker.
Okay.
And so Speak Life, my music, what came to me is my music is supposed to be the platform. From there, you know, because okay, so there was a pastor by the name of Miles Monroe, rest in
Yes.
peace. I had the privilege and the blessing to hear him speak at a church in Norwalk, California, and he says that there are you have to look at each job as a paid internship.
That's right.
And you attain the skills and new talents that you learn and so forth, and it's designed to take you to the next level. And so with every chapter in our lives, you know, because we have to have the faith and patience, because and we want it now, but we have to take those steps. So with the concept of God's divine timing, with how everything came together, goodness gracious, awesome, goodness gracious, ooh, hey. I'm sorry, this is a kind of a side note. Thank you guys so much for having us.
Yeah,
This
thank
is such a
you.
blessing.
Oh,
We
it's been our
appreciate-
pleasure.
Thank
we
you, guys.
appreciate the
It's
vibes.
a pleasure.
Yeah,
It's a pleasure to have
likewise.
you here.
And also thank you guys behind the scenes who are
Yeah.
helping.
Oh, we
put
got the
this
strong
together as
team.
well.
Everybody here
Yes,
working
we
hard.
do.
You already know.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. But man, I'm honestly like my thoughts are like everywhere
1
because
year
I don't know
from
if you
now.
guys noticed. They've been doing like most of the talking because I just been kind of they answer questions for me. Like I don't really have to say anything. No, meaning like whatever they're saying is like was what I'm thinking. So I don't really have to say much.
Speaks it back like this.
I'm just
they like twins. They like twins from other mothers.
But motivational speaker. But then also, I do want to have the privilege of speaking at more churches as well.
Okay.
One thing that most people do not know, and I appreciate Mr. Fuller, he invited me to speak at his church twice, and that was a blessing. But one of the things I really want to keep pushing out is the fact that I don't curse in my music.
Yes.
So I want people to use that as an example and say, look, you do not only you do not have to curse in your music, but you don't have to curse when having just a simple conversation. It shows a lack of vocabulary, at least to me. But motivational speaking, I want to get deeper into that and obviously take Speak Life World to the next level and use that as a platform to continue with that.
I love that. That's what's up.
Mr. Foley?
I was gonna let Z talk.
No, you go first.
Okay. Collectively, I see us getting that deal, or a big company approaching for collaboration. I see Speak obviously doing his motivational speaking and releasing his album separately under us, or another connection with the label. I see Zamir doing the same thing because they all have great stuff. Wim the same way, Vince the same way, independently. Myself, I see. I feel like we're gonna be, at least in me, there's a thing called the 5 spheres of influence, and I want to infect those 5 spheres of influence, and that be from media to politics, people as far as mentorship, all those spheres of influence. I would like to be influencing those with just infecting culture with goodness and love and spirit. And I think right now what's happening is that spirit is connecting with secular culture, and I think I'm finding a code of how to do it where it can be packaged and people to want to mess with, kind of like how Kanye's doing with the whole Sunday service.
Yes.
We would have thought that never would have worked in like the 90s or 2000s.
Totally.
But people
working
that are like
today.
mainstream, like you and Bander, are going to those. Like, I won't go to church, but I'll go to Kanye's Sunday service.
Right.
So I think I'm venturing. I think this group is venturing because this group is a secular group, Bander.
Yes.
And like I told Charlene, I didn't have to tell them you need to move this way or you need to act this way.
Yeah,
it
no,
just
I feel that.
organically happens.
I feel that y'all got your own lanes, which is beautiful.
You know what I mean?
You guys just support each other and have your own visions. It's really cool to see.
Exactly. So for me, get into it. I know I'm be in the entertainment space. I also am going to be running for mayor of Fullerton pretty soon.
Yes.
So
I
and
got
then,
you. That's what's up, bro.
I'm a pastor at my church right now. So in entertainment, politics, and spirituality is where I feel like my strong suit. And I'm learning that now. I'm a connector. Before people are like, you're a promoter. I'm like, no, I am a connector.
He brings people together.
And I see that. No, I see how he operates.
beautiful.
And one thing I just want to shout out about these guys, which is really, really like, I just got to say is super love. First of all, these guys all showed me super love on my birthday, which I really appreciated. Y'all shouted me out in the gram, which I was like, wow. Like, I was like, my own family didn't show me this love. Okay. Like, these guys are real ones.
They're
And
real
second
ones.
of all, when I went down to see them perform, these guys showed me a lot of love. Like in the backstage, I didn't have an opportunity to really stay that long, but we all connected really quick on the gram, on the socials. And I just want to say I was really impressed with you guys and just the way you guys were so positive and welcoming. And I was just like, wow, these fools are in the rap game. I was like, wow. Like,
when you're surrounded by
Yes.
greatness or kings and queens, they must be treated as such.
Yes,
And
and I
you're a
keep
king,
that.
Bander.
I love that because I have a couple close friends where we're like that, and meeting you guys was like the first time in a while where I've met cats that really kind of roll with that same code. So I was feeling that, y'all. Definitely, yeah. Mad
And
props to y'all
also
for that.
And also when DJ Banner steps out,
Yo,
hey, this
you
dude
stand
steps
out.
out, bro.
Steps out and stands out,
This
bro.
dude be coming out looking
came
so
in-
fresh.
I'm like, what label are you with? Like, what's going on here, man? I thought you was A&R and us and
I was like,
everything. I'm like,
business mogul. How many houses he got out here in Laguna Beach? Like,
But
Oh, yeah, I'll move down there with y'all, man. Y'all winning me over with the OC. So
we're gonna
have
get
to
a
make that happen.
seven bedroom mansion, and we're just gonna have everyone who's moving and shaking on the positive wave. They can come rent space, Airbnb it.
Yeah. But, Samir,
So, Zamir, I want to give you an opportunity to.
What was the question?
I'm like, stop me talk. Where do you see
What's
yourself?
yourself?
And where
Yeah, just quickly,
Yeah.
whatever goals you have.
So I'd say, the first goal is start an independent record label under the name of Good Guy Music.
Yes.
So I want to start signing artists underneath my sound and all that, produce the sound, the culture, kind of like how Drake did LBO type thing.
Beautiful.
And from there, if I do get a label deal, I will take a portion of that money and put it towards real estate, because you know how those deals are.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta invest.
You hit me up for that,
Yes.
bro. I'll get you locked in.
Yeah, like that.
Oh yeah, don't
Let's
even
make
trip,
it happen,
bro.
bro.
We'll make it happen.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
You got Shar now. You got your new advisors.
perfect.
Don't even
perfect.
trip.
Yeah, real estate's definitely in the near future.
Good. That's the
Uh,
move,
good.
man.
Yeah, real estate, the fashion industry, and entertainment are probably the top three, and I'm sure that I'm going to discover things along the way, and as the path gets
Absolutely.
revealed. So, yeah, but right now, not looking for a label deal, but I'm not opposed to it if it's the right deal,
That's
because
right.
I know my worth as well, and I know what I can do in a year, especially with this kind of momentum. I know what speed we're at right now. So unless we're getting approached correctly, I don't think that I will sign on the dotted line.
Nah, I mean, you get the more
don't
good
need
people you
to.
get around you, just to make all that stuff happen independent. You
That's
know,
right.
Just keep
Absolutely.
pushing, but keep all the equity.
Yeah,
so
keep all the equity in your pocket.
Yes.
Don't share it with
Yes.
people who don't deserve it. Right?
What did Jay say? It ain't real. I'm paraphrasing. It ain't real unless you own your own, or
That's
something
right.
like that.
That's
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, continue pushing to own your own.
Also, the
Continue.
tech space, I definitely want to connect tech and fashion.
Ooh,
so
yeah.
shout out to Dash Radio,
Right.
tech space. So,
that's it.
and the finance branch for providing it, because tech is really huge for culture. So I feel like fashion and entertainment and tech are going to intersect. So.
That's
Yep.
cool. So
Yep.
now when we come back, we want to talk more about your video.
Yes.
Because that video, you sent it to me the other night, and I enjoyed it. And
Jake came through.
we need to talk more about
Yes,
that video
yes,
and the
we
things
do.
that you're doing with that. So
Absolutely.
I'm Charlene,
and I am DJ Bander.
and we'll be right back. And we're back in the studio with the Orange Collective, DJ Banda.
Hey.
Is this the best or is this the best?
This was lit. This is like highlight reel episode. I think.
Exactly.
I definitely think.
That's a blessing. Thank you.
We missed a week. We know what we're playing.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what's up.
Dope.
So, the question I want to ask you is, you mentioned earlier, as we were talking, that you finance everything yourself. And so I wanted to know, how do you collectively do that to fund something like your video? What happens? What's the process?
So it's two things. So
This is NBL Zamir.
NBL Zamir speaking, for those not watching on camera. It's two things. One is pulling all of our resources together. So we may not even be needing funding in a lot of situations, because we've really built these relationships over the years, and we're saying to every one of our contacts, like, look, this is the move. Look at what we're doing together.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it's not hard to make people a believer when you're a believer in yourself, right? So
That's facts.
and you've created something of substance. Like this video now is leverage. So
Yes.
we leverage a lot. Now, as far as funding goes, I would say that each of us take money from our individual businesses that we have, and we put it in the pot, because we look at this as a springboard for all of our individual businesses. So
Yes.
Beautiful.
we like to tie it all in and use this as a platform. And now, like, say Good Guy Music is more well known because of the Orange Collective.
That's right.
Classic Gentleman is more well known. So
That's great.
it's still an investment in our individual businesses. If
Right.
you look at it that way.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense.
Just to add to it, Zig Ziglar, like world-renowned salesman, he says that helping other people get what they want, eventually you'll get what you want. And so what's great about the Orange Collective and each of the members of the Orange Collective, the way that we so we believe in network equals net worth. So by us, and it's a lot of negotiating. So exactly what Zamir said, that's why I said I don't really have to say much, because literally they say what's on my mind. But also, if you put your ego aside and speak to these photographers, speak to these videographers, and come from a humble place and say, hey, listen, like, this is what we're doing.
Right.
This is the move that we're making. This is what we're going to do to shift the culture, or this is how this is going to benefit
Like,
you.
work with me on this.
Work with me, and we're going to cross promote. I mean, it doesn't, like, people think that to put out music videos and do all types of crazy stuff or get photos done, like, you have to come out of your pockets like crazy. And this is for the person that maybe have like $50 in their bank account, but they have a dream. It's like, build your relationships, reach out to people on Instagram, like, say, hey, this is what I'm looking to do. If you decide to shoot me for free, then I'll promote you and I'll refer people to you. and it's about building those relationships. Relationships are everything. This is a relationship industry. Like, it's a back scratching industry at the end of the day. But if we focus on what can I do for this person across the table from me, don't even like put yourself to the side, put your ego aside. Don't even think about how you're going to really benefit, because you're going to naturally benefit. So it's just like, okay, what can I do for this person to get this person to the next level? Okay, what are your goals? Okay, those are your goals. Okay, cool. This is what I have that's going to help you reach your goals. And if we do this together, we can both get to where we're trying to go.
I'll also say having
Beautiful.
5 people doesn't hurt it either, because you're putting less in the pot. You
That's
know
what I'm
I mean?
saying. I'm
That's
like,
right.
yo, y'all got
5 people
that's
putting
smooth.
It's like, you know,
Everything is a lot
instead of
cheaper
paying
when you
500
got
When it's
four.
more than
Yeah.
one, that's right.
Yeah, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it's like having 5 investors
Yep.
on
That's
every
right.
project.
Yeah.
And the investors that you have are tied to the project.
Right, so it lowers the burden
It
and the
lowers the
risk at
burden.
the same time.
And you don't have anybody to explain to, because you've explained it to yourselves.
Yep.
So all of that works.
we didn't even go into it with that mindset. It was just a side effect of what happened, and we were like, "Oh, this is cool." Like,
Yeah,
that's
now we
clean.
got-
Wow. So I want, before we wrap, because we have just a few minutes left, I want each of you, I'd like for each of you to tell us how we can stay connected to you.
Yeah, let's get those grams and all the info.
Super simple. At N as in Nancy, B as in boy, L as in love, Zamir, Zameer.
Cool.
At Speak Life 310. Speak Life 310. At Speak Life 310. And SpeakLifeWorld.com. SpeakLifeWorld.com.
That's it.
I love him for that.
They ain't nobody gonna forget
He's the
that
more
one.
he's the more animated one of the
He
group.
going in.
And now, Mr. Fully.
Mr. Dot Fully and Orange_Collective.
Yeah.
That's it.
That part.
that is us.
And we gotta give Wim and
Wim
Vince. So we got
Yes.
Vinsanity, VYNZANITY. Terrible
Wim.
unless I write it down. And then we got Wim the musician. Wim underscore the
musician.
underscore musician.
Absolutely.
Is there an underscore?
Yeah.
Oh
it's
yeah, and
underscores.
Wim is spelled WIIM because he's Wim the second.
Yes.
So he made that. It's really spelled. His real name is spelled WIM, but he put 2 I's because he's Wim the second.
He's
So
Wim the
That's
second.
fresh.
super dope. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Wow.
part.
Oh yeah,
That's
real
awesome.
quick, by the way, Wim the musician, he has a dope project going on called The Marathon.
Oh, check that out.
He drops like a track every freaking week, and all of his tracks are fire. Like, you can literally zone out and listen to his music.
Dope.
Touch everybody. Vinsanity has his project out, The Good Life. So make sure you guys, and also Vinsanity has he has his EP coming, but he also has a Good Life t-shirt. So make sure you guys follow Vinsanity, check out his t-shirts, and also Wim. His business is called Organically Gifted.
Yeah.
Cool.
And Wim has
in.
Wim has some collaboration coming with Speak
Yeah,
Life.
and Wim has a collaboration with Speak Life 310, and like I said, it's going to be called Shade. That's going to be coming out really soon. I was going to get into it, but I know our time is limited.
Yep.
Oh, good.
So now, tell everyone where they can see your video, because I love the video.
You can check out the video at the Orange Collective on YouTube.
Okay.
That's where it's at. And then also you can see it obviously on the Orange Collective page, and our separate pages, our little clips that we have up there as well.
That's
music
and
the song.
The song also is on all platforms, Spotify, you name it. You know, it's everywhere.
That's beautiful. And also,
Wow.
wanted just for our
Title.
listeners, just to remind you guys before we wrap up, to make sure that you can get information about this group along with all their video and everything on our page at the Finance Bunch. And of course, we'll be
Dope.
shouting you guys out and posting that. And you
Absolutely.
can find me at DJ Bander. I'm going to be sharing this as well.
Shout out DJ Band
And
Charlene.
Charlene
Yes.
Sis
Thank you
Shrunk.
guys for having us.
Of course,
and
absolutely.
we'll be at the Finance Bunch. So I'm so sorry. You know, I love the music that plays in between. I'm so sorry we have
It's
to.
all good.
But we will definitely have you back on.
Oh,
we
yeah.
want to stay on track and
Information is power. That's what was more was
absolutely.
needed.
I want to know what you guys are doing as you're building you can always come back and visit us.
Our promise to you is going
Absolutely.
to be that the conversation is going to definitely be 3 times this point when we get there. That's my goal.
Absolutely.
That's my goal.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it, guys.
Big shout out, hey, real quick. Big shout out to our man's Leo over here in the cut.
Yes.
Yes,
he's
the
over-
photographer.
Yo,
came
so
through.
Leo,
Quiet, silent, but deadly over
yeah,
there.
he
with
is
the
silent,
Yes.
but he's silent with the pick flicks, but
Okay.
he assists us with photography, marketing. He has a couple of business ventures as well. So high underscore. So it's HI underscore. No, it's I am underscore Leo.
Correct?
You got
Right?
it.
Is that it?
it, Leah?
We're gonna find it. Don't worry, we're gonna find you, Leo.
His business page is 714 Young Pinch. Just recently hit 10,000. And he helped assist us, connect us to Young Pinch, was the biggest artist in Orange County. So look at that
Yeah,
one
I
because
know
that's
that
like
full pinch. That's what's
10,000.
up.
Yeah.
That's
For,
cool.
yeah.
Well, I'm Miss Charlene,
And I am DJ Bander.
and we want to thank you for listening to us on Dash Talk X, and
Yep.
we'll see you every Tuesday at noon.
That's it.
Blessings and waves.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you press that subscribe button. And remember, we are on SoundCloud and anywhere podcasts are found as The Finance Bunch. And find us every Tuesday at noon on Dash Radio on station Dash Talk X. See you soon.